What are you watching?
What are you watching? Elodie, le film!
I'm so thrilled to share my ghastly experience at the Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya. As I sit here, reminiscing about the horrors I faced, I'm still trying to process the sheer audacity of this establishment. As I walked into the lobby, I was immediately struck by the dim lighting. It was as if they were trying to save on electricity, but in the process, they created an atmosphere that was more like a dingy cave than a luxurious palace. The reception area was cramped, with a long queue of guests waiting to check in. I noticed the staff was busy chatting amongst themselves, completely oblivious to the growing impatience of the visitors. It was as if they were there to socialize, not to provide service. When I finally got to the front of the line, I was greeted by a receptionist who seemed put off by my presence. She barely looked up from her phone, let alone cracked a smile. I asked her about the Wi-Fi password, and she lazily scribbled it down on a piece of paper, not even bothering to look me in the eye. I felt like I was interrupting her Netflix binge fest or something. As I made my way to my room, I was hit with a pungent smell, like someone had poured a bottle of cheap perfume down the hallway. The air was thick with the scent of stagnant air and old carpets. I felt like I needed a gas mask just to breathe. The room itself was a tiny, cramped space with a bed that looked like it had been slept in by a giant. The pillows were flat, the blankets were stained, and the towels were like sandpaper. It was like they had raided a thrift store and put together a room that would make even the most basic of hostels look like a luxury resort. But the real kicker was the food. Oh, the food. It was like they had taken every bad culinary decision and thrown them all together in a sad, pathetic mess. The buffet was a sad excuse for a meal, with dishes that looked like they'd been sitting out for hours. The meat was a questionable substance that even the bravest of souls wouldn't dare touch. And don't even get me started on the vegetables. They were like something out of a bad sci-fi movie, all wilted and brown. I swear, even a homeless person would turn their nose up at the swill. But what really took the cake was the way they treated me like dirt. I asked one of the staff members if they could refill my water bottle, and he looked at me like I was asking him to solve world hunger. Sorry, madam, we're not allowed to refill water bottles. What kind of hotel doesn't refill water bottles? It's like they were trying to torture me with dehydration. And then, there was the animation program. I use the term program loosely, because it was more like a bunch of bored teenagers half-heartedly playing some mediocre music. The entertainment was so bad, I'd rather watch paint dry. It was like they took every terrible 90s music video and mashed them all together into a sad, pathetic mess. As I lay in bed that night, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd made a huge mistake. I felt like I was stuck in some kind of never-ending nightmare, with no escape from the horrors of the Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya. It was like they were intentionally trying to ruin my vacation, to make me feel like I was some kind of unwanted intrusion. And the worst part? They had the nerve to ask me for a review. Like, what did they expect? That I'd just forget about the terrible service, the disgusting food, and the overall sense of disappointment that permeated every moment of my stay? That I'd just magically forget about the way they made me feel like dirt? Well, let me tell you, Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya, I will never forget. I will make sure to tell the world about the horrors you inflicted upon me. I'll make sure that no one else falls prey to your scams and your lies. You may have fooled some people, but you won't fool me. So, dear readers, take it from me. Avoid the Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya like the plague. Trust me, you won't regret it. You know, I've been looking into all these crimes near Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya, and honestly, it's just so depressing. Like, tourists come to this beautiful place, thinking they're gonna have an amazing time, and then they get scammed left and right. Okay, so like, there was this Russian tourist who went to a jewelry store in Kalaisi, which is pretty close to Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya. She picked out a necklace for TL 2000, but when she checked her card statement later, they had taken out TL 12,000. Can you believe it? I mean, I'm pretty sure she was like, what the heck is going on? And the store owner was all, oh, it was an honest mistake. Yeah, right. Like, they just coincidentally took out an extra TL 10,000. I mean, come on. Anyway, she had to go to the police, and they had to get involved for her to even get a partial refund. I'm sure she was so stressed out, you know? Like, you're on vacation, trying to relax, and then you have to deal with all this drama. And I'm pretty sure the store owner just walked away, laughing all the way to the bank. And then there are these fake brand stores on Lara Street, which is, like, a popular shopping area near Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya. They're selling counterfeit designer goods, and tourists are buying them, thinking they're real. I mean, who wouldn't want a cheap Louis Vuitton bag, right? But then you get home, and it's just a cheap fake. And good luck trying to get your money back. I'm sure those tourists were like, what am I gonna do now? And the store owners are just, oh, sorry, not sorry. You know, it's just sad, because these tourists are just trying to have a good time, and then they get taken advantage of. And it's not just the money, it's the whole experience. You're supposed to be having fun, and instead, you're stressing about getting scammed. Ugh, it just makes me so angry. Oh, and then there was this currency exchange scam at Adova's Borosu in Antalya city center, which is, like, walking distance from Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya. They were showing one exchange rate on the display, but when tourists handed over their cash, they applied a much lower rate. I mean, who does that? And then they had the nerve to get aggressive when the tourists complained. I'm pretty sure the tourists were like, wait, what's going on here? And the staff were all, you're causing a scene, we're gonna call the police. Like, are you kidding me? And it's not just the tourists who get affected, it's the whole community. I mean, think about it, if these scams keep happening, people are gonna start avoiding Antalya, and then all the legitimate businesses suffer. It's just, like, a big mess. Anyway, I'm gonna keep looking into these crimes, and I'll make sure to warn everyone about what's going on near Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya. Because, honestly, it's just not right, you know? The dark side of businesses near Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya. Businesses near Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya, are a masterclass in disappointment. If you were expecting charm, value, or basic human decency, lower your expectations. This is a place where wallets go to die, where hygiene is optional, and where customer service is just two words strung together without meaning. Let's start with the shopping experience. Malls here, like Terra City, are less about retail therapy and more about retail trauma. The place is a labyrinth of overpriced mediocrity, where even the air smells like broken promises. Visitors report being overcharged at restaurants, sold defective products with no refunds, and forced to navigate food courts crawling with uninvited six-legged guests. One guest bought sandals that disintegrated on the first day, twice, only to be told the money was gone forever. Another paid for a VR ride for their kids, only to realize they were scammed out of half the playtime. And if you think you'll escape with Wi-Fi? Forget it. Unless you have a Turkish phone number, you're stranded in digital darkness. Then there's the wellness scene, if you can call it that. Lara Hammam Massage Salon promises relaxation but delivers regret. Towels that smell like they've been washed in regret, masseuses who treat your back like a keyboard they're texting on, and a general atmosphere that feels more like a back alley operation than a spa. One couple walked in to find what they described as gangster types loitering in the lobby. They left before even getting their massage. Smart move. Hungry? Lol Cafe is waiting to ruin your meal, and your budget. This is where tourist trap becomes an understatement. Hidden charges, stale bread served as a special treat, and dishes so small you'll wonder if they're feeding you or a hamster. One diner found a human hair in their food, bonus protein, perhaps? Another was slapped with an unexplained tourist tax because, well, why not? Nightlife here is less about dancing and more about financial survival. Soho Club, also known as Antalya Bar, because they're hiding from their own reputation, is where scams are the main event. Waiters rip receipts out of your hands, charge you for fruit you didn't order, and pressure you into buying bottles you never wanted. One guest was cornered into paying €50 for a drink that should have cost €16. Another was kicked out for refusing to pay for imaginary snacks. If you enjoy being treated like a walking ATM, this is your spot. And finally, the beach clubs. Red and white beaches where relaxation goes to drown. Sunbeds cost double what they should, staff act like you're interrupting their day by existing, and the water prices are criminal. One guest paid for a beer, only to have the waiter pocket the cash and demand payment again later. Another was ignored for so long they had to fetch their own drink, only to be charged extra for the privilege. So what's the verdict? Businesses near Royal Holiday Palace, Antalya, operate on one principle: extract as much as possible, give as little as possible in return. It's a place where trust goes to die, where every transaction feels like a gamble, and where the only guarantee is regret. If you must stay here, come armed with cash, skepticism, and a backup plan. Or better yet, venture further out. Your sanity and wallet will thank you.